way through 2013, the Shockers were the winningest program in NCAA history in the 1980s and the 1990s, and they culminated that with a national championship in 1989. The Shockers beat the University of Texas in the national championship game that year, and as a youngster who grew up in the Wichita area, very clearly remember that 1989 championship game. And it's been interesting as somebody who grew up in this area to watch this ballpark evolve over the years. Back when Wichita State was just getting started, they had some rail cars that they brought in, some flatbed rail cars, and put bleachers on that. And that was how the fans watched Wichita State baseball games in the early days back in the late 1970s. And they turned a lot of heads in the 1980s, and they went to the NCAA World Series in 1982, taking on the likes of the University of Miami Hurricanes. And once they got to where they were going to Omaha, they were basically a team that was at Omaha every single year. So the program now, after having that incredible success in the 1980s and the 1990s, trying to kind of get back to that level of success now. It's been a while since they've been to Omaha. But they do have a beautiful ballpark here in Wichita to call their home stadium, and that is where, as we said, the first 30-plus games of this tournament will be played. Getting a look there at the starting pitcher for BTL, the Hornets, as we said, that is Donovan Johnson. And he is from Spring Hill, Kansas. Plays his college ball at Kansas City, Kansas Community College. They are the Blue Devils. They play in Wyandotte County. Two junior college programs in that part of the world up there. You got Kansas City, Kansas, and you've also got Johnson County Community College. This BTL Hornets program is from the Johnson County area. The program is led by Rusty Jones and his dad, Bob Jones, who's the director of baseball operations. They've had this BTL program going for a long time, trying to help young men prepare themselves for high school baseball and then for collegiate and pro baseball as well. They've had success turning out talent, even having some players who played at the major league level. First batter stepping to the plate here for Santa Barbara, and this will be Xavier Esker. Esker will be the second baseman tonight for Santa Barbara. Esker from Palo Alto, California. Plays his collegiate ball there in Santa Barbara, UCSB, excuse me. First pitch of the game is in for a strike. Oh, 1 pitch coming here from Johnson. That pitch is wide of the plate. And the count is even up at 1-1. Santa Barbara Foresters will be the visiting team in this ball game. Another pitch from Johnson, sails low and wide. The 2-1 pitch fouled off towards the press box. It may have glanced off of one of the windows here, one of the luxury suites. As we said, just an absolutely phenomenal ballpark. Now, there's a lot of places around the country now that have built really fine college baseball stadiums, but Wichita State was one of the first to really jump on that trend of very nice, spacious collegiate ballparks. That pitch is low and away, and the count's gone full here to the leadoff batter in the ball game. Santa Barbara Foresters played last night. They got an 11-1 victory over the Derby Twins. It was a ball game that was interrupted twice due to rain. Heavy storms moved through the Wichita area last night. Another pitch fouled off high into the stands here at Tyler Field at X Stadium. Really a pretty nice night for baseball here in Wichita. Temperature 82 degrees, the wind out of the south, blowing gently. Pitch misses outside, and what an at-bat there for Xavier Esker. He really showed a lot of patience, wasted a few good pitches from Johnson, and finally, after a long at-bat, draws a full count walk. So he'll be at first to lead off the ball game for the Foresters. Santa Barbara will now send their catcher to the plate in Cole Chamberlain. Chamberlain up there from the left side. One on, nobody out for the Foresters. First pitch he sees, he fouls off. So Johnson dealing with the Foresters, showing some really good plate discipline. Fouling pitches off. Chamberlain steps back into the batter's box out of Novato, California. Plays at the University of Texas, who we mentioned a few moments ago. Runner goes, swing and a miss. The throw down is in time. They get him at second base. So gunned down by the catcher, Grobel. What a throw by him. Look at this throw, is right on the money, right to the shortstop. And a beautiful defensive play made there by the Hornets. So Holden Grobel, the catcher, throwing it over to Quinn, his brother. So the old catcher to shortstop combination there. And they say if a baseball team's going to be good, they have to be good up the middle. And BTL feels like they're pretty good up the middle with those two guys especially. Both of them out of Leawood and both playing collegiately at Cowley County Community College. Ground ball here. Grobel fields. Strong throw across the diamond in time. Oh, my apologies. I was wrong in the position there. That was Holden Grobel, the catcher, but the shortstop actually is Coffin. So Quinn Grobel is playing over at first base. So the Grobel brothers are actually catcher and first base. So a misread of my scorecard there. But 2 outs in the inning, nobody on for the Foresters. After Chamberlain grounds out. Batter now is Mumau. Easton out of El Paso, Texas. Plays at UT Rio Grande. Pitches in for a strike. Have to be impressed so far with the start that the Hornets have gotten from Donovan Johnson, as we said. Young man out of Spring Hill, Kansas. Spring Hill is in Johnson County on the far southern end of that county. Johnson County, if you do not know, is one of the most affluent counties in the United States. In fact, I think it's correct that of all the property valuation in the entire state of Kansas, almost half of that property valuation is located inside of Johnson County. Here's a well-hit ball to the gap in left center field. It's going to get down off the base of the fence. And Mumau cruises into second base standing up. So the second base runner of the inning for the Foresters, their first base runner in scoring position. And they have a man at second with 2 outs now. Another look at this long run by the center fielder, but not going to get there as it bounces right off the very bottom of the fence. Getting it back in quickly, but Mumau, as we said, easily into second base. So Clark will be the cleanup hitter for the Foresters. First pitch is outside for a ball. Brenton Clark Bats left. He's from Texarkana, Texas. And he plays at the University of Arkansas. Pitch is in for a strike. We talked about the professional baseball stadium here in Wichita on the banks of the Arkansas River. So you may notice a little bit of a difference in the pronunciation, but I guess that's a Kansas thing. 1-1 pitch. This one is just off the plate. 2-1 now the count. So Santa Barbara playing 2 late night games in a row here in Wichita. Game last night finished at 1:35 a.m. local time, 11:35 back in California. This game will last longer than that. It's already 1:05 local time here, just after 11 in California. Pitch is sliced foul down the left field line. That will be into the Santa Barbara bullpen, and bodies scattering down the line. Trying to get out of the way of that foul ball. So the count is 2-2. 2 outs, a runner on at second base here in the top of the first inning. Welcome to baseball round the clock. Pitch again, just off the plate. Home plate umpire Travis Olson not giving the strike there. And for good reason, the pitch did seem to be just wide. So the count's gone full again, second full count of the inning. There's a ground ball, slow roller left side. It's going to be a tough play. Fielded at third base and thrown across. A throw that was skipped into first base. Nice job of digging it up over there by Quinn Grobel. But a really nice job defensively at third base by Pachorik. Here's another look at it as we go to the break. Tanner Pachorik cutting in front of the shortstop, making a nice play, nice throw on the run. Foresters put 2 on but can't score. It is
BMA's residential cleaning service knows there's no place like home, especially when your home is cleaned by our experienced staff. From floor to ceiling, we've got you covered. Learn more at bmasclean.com. BMA's Cleaning Sports, PBS, Kansas. Seriously good TV.
Here's how it works. You have to check in at a certain time every game, and it changes. So you never really know when the check-in time is going to be. But once they make that announcement in the stadium, you have 10 minutes to go check in at the designated check-in spot. And if you check in for all 10 ball games throughout the 30-plus hours of baseball, then you get a T-shirt. And the immense satisfaction that comes with having watched all the games of baseball around the clock. Santa Barbara sends out A.J. Crodell to the mound. He'll be getting the start here against the BTL Hornets. First man in the lineup for the Hornets is the second baseman, and that'll be Cade Martinez out of DeSoto, Kansas. Plays Division I baseball at Lindenwood University over by St. Louis. Martinez at 6'1", or excuse me, 5'11", 175 pounds. Steps back into the batter's box. He's wearing the bright neon batting gloves. You can see those from all the way up here in the press box. Ground ball right side. It'll be fielded over there at second base by Xavier Esker. And he throws it on to first for the out. So 1 up, 1 down for the Hornets here. So we talked about the fact that each of these teams had a run rule ball game in their first outing here in Wichita. Santa Barbara beating the Derby Twins 11-1. The BTL Hornets losing in their first game in run rule fashion. So start to wonder, how will these two teams match up? And we talked to the coach, Rusty Jones, for the Hornets before the game, and he said, probably good for us. At this level of baseball, a lot of guys think they are really good, and sometimes they are really good, but sometimes, they need to be held in check a little bit. So he says, we'll see what it is tonight. And so far, his team hanging right there with the Foresters. 1-1 pitch is on the outside corner, beautifully placed there by A.J. Crodell. So Santa Barbara made up of Division I baseball talent from basically all over the country. BTL is made up of guys who are basically from the same county, albeit a very populated county up in suburban Kansas City. There's a young fan who gets a souvenir. Wonder how many he's going to pick up throughout the night if he ends up staying all night long. He'll probably be able to fill his pockets full. So a strikeout for the second out of the inning. So 2 outs now in the inning. First pitch here to Quinn Grobel is a ball. 1-0 the count. Now a swing and a miss. Here's another look at the final pitch to Holden Grobel. The strikeout there. Second out of the inning. Quinn Grobel, a very fine baseball player at Cali College this past spring. Ball is lined into left field, and that's going to be caught out in left field. What a sensational catch by the left fielder, Mick Paul. What a play he just made. It looked like that thing was going to get down for extra bases, and he reaches out as he goes to the turf and snow cones that ball in the top of his glove. I know it's early, but that's a pretty good candidate for our Pierpoint Lawn and Landscape Play of the Game.
When you look for a place to learn, train, and grow, you need something that fits with your life. At Butler Community College, we want you to reach your goals in the most affordable way possible. That's why we keep our tuition rates low, so you don't have to stress about your future. It's why we offer hundreds of scholarship opportunities for pursuing your passion. And it's why we work hard to provide a professional higher education at a lower price tag. Butler Community College. Real college, really affordable.
Back on the campus of Wichita State University, late night baseball here. It is past 1 a.m. Central Time. Neither team scoring in the first inning. The Foresters did get a couple of base runners on. The first base runner they had, Xavier Esker, walked, but then was caught stealing. Easton Mumau had a double to left center field, but he was stranded at second as the inning came to an end. So now the starting pitcher, Johnson, will be back out there for a second inning of work. Threw a lot of pitches in that first inning, went to a full count with a couple of different batters, but he was able to get out of the inning unscathed. Terrence Kill will be at the plate for the Foresters out of Atlanta, Georgia. Plays in the SEC at Texas A&M. Pitch is called a strike on the outside corner. I remember when Texas A&M and 3 other schools made the jump from the Southwestern Conference to the Big 12, and then, of course, later on A&M making the move from the Big 12 to the SEC. One the count here to Kill. That pitch is hit on the ground of the shortstop, fielded and thrown across in time by Coffin. So Coffin's done a nice job defensively so far over there at shortstop for the BTL Hornets. BTL, if you're wondering, stands for Between the Lines. It's a training academy in Johnson County. We were talking to Rusty Jones before the game. He said, there's a lot of people who do what we do in Johnson County, and it's a hotbed of youth baseball up there. They've got the 3-2 complex up there. A lot of complexes actually in Johnson County where a lot of baseball gets played every summer. So 1 out and nobody on. And Mick Paul will be at the plate. And isn't it just it's just about right for the game of baseball when a guy makes a sensational defensive play in the field in 1 half inning. Seems like he usually is one of the first guys up in the next half inning, and that's what we see with Mick Paul here. Made a great play out in left field in the bottom of the first, and now batting here early in the top of the second. Mick Paul from Salt Lake City, Utah, plays in the Big Ten for the University of Washington. It's still a little bit tough to say University of Washington in the Big Ten, but a lot of conference realignment, of course, as everyone is well aware of over the past decade or so. Huskies have a beautiful campus there in Seattle. Football stadium right on the water. Pitch is outside for a ball. Just happened to be in Seattle a couple of weeks ago. Driving back after a long journey to Alaska and back. 9,600 miles by car. Pitch is fouled off here. 2-2, the count is even. Lefty steps back in, taps his bat on the plate. Johnson, the righty, delivers a pitch that is low for ball 3. So Johnson, for the 3rd time already in this ball game, running to a full count. I think that speaks to the plate discipline of these Santa Barbara batters under the tutelage of their longtime head coach, Bill Pintard. Pitch fouled off over towards the BTL dugout on the right side. Mick Paul was 1 for 4 last night with 1 run driven in. He also struck out 1 time. Payoff pitch to him. That is fouled off down the left field line. Well out of play. So Mick Paul stepping back in. As we said, a long battle here. Another payoff pitch from Johnson. That is inside, ball 4. So the second walk of the game issued by Esker. So now Sawyer Farr, the shortstop, will be coming to the plate. Sawyer Farr out of Fort Worth, Texas. Another player on this Foresters roster who plays at Texas A&M. A sophomore for the Aggies. 6'4", 190-pounder. So a tall, lean build for the left-hander. He's batting with 1 on and 1 out. Top of the second inning. Lights are on here at Tyler Field, X Stadium. Ground ball right side. That'll get through for a single for Farr. And Paul's going to try to go first to third on the play. The throw's cut off. They're going to throw behind the runner at first. Did he get back? Yes, he did. So Santa Barbara has something cooking here with runners at the corners and 1 out in the inning. So as you see this single getting to the right side and the first baseman having to hold the runner on, that's kind of what led to that opening on the right side of the infield. So the Foresters threatening to score the game's first run. The DH, Caleb Hoover, at the plate. Caleb Hoover out of Heath, Texas. Another SEC guy. Plays for the South Carolina Gamecocks. 1-0 pitch. Runner looked like he was going. He doesn't. Pitch is squibbed foul towards the third base dugout. One on the count. 1 out in the inning. 2 runners on. There's a pitch that gets away from the catcher. It's going to be a wild pitch. Both runners will move up. The lead runner scores, and the other runner tries to go first to third on the play. Throw is high to third, but still, Farr is gunned down. Not for sure what he was saying there at the very end of that play, but here's another look at it. You see this ball bouncing down in the dirt. Nothing the catcher could do about it. Not exactly like he really hustles back to the backstop, but it's just Farr trying to go to third, and third baseman leaps up in the air as he comes down. A little bit of a hard tag, but certainly nothing intentional there, just the way he came down after having to leap high to make that catch. So a run scores for the Foresters. No RBI on the play, but they take a 1-0 lead. But the Hornets, of some consolation, do get an out on the play. So after all that, Hoover's still at the plate, but now instead of having 2 runners on, he's got nobody on base in front of him. Another pitch misses down low. So yet again, I think it's been 2 batters in each inning so far that have gone to a full count here against the pitcher, Donovan Johnson, wearing number 98. Payoff pitch. That is sliced foul. Off to the left. We'll do the payoff pitch all over again. Pretty good number of fans there in the stands behind home plate. Wichita State kind of redid some of its seating down low, putting in some tables, some loge seats, and it's a pretty nice place to come watch a college baseball game or a summer baseball game, as is the case here with the NBC tournament. Good look there at Donovan Johnson. Coming set with yet another payoff pitch after two straight have been fouled off here by Hoover. This pitch is down low, and that is ball 4. So that becomes the third walk issued so far by Johnson, the second walk allowed in the inning. And you wonder, especially in a summer ball game, just how many pitches he will be allowed to throw, how long he can go in this ball game. Not for sure if he has a predetermined pitch count or not, but he's thrown a lot of pitches so far in this ball game. And now he is facing the 9-hole hitter in Caden Miller. And this pitch is in for a strike. Caden Miller out of Madisonville, Texas. Plays D1 baseball at UT San Antonio. Swing and a miss there. Nice pitch from Johnson. Caden Miller, 6'2", 185, a sophomore for the Roadrunners at UTSA. Nice pitch down to the dirt, blocked by the catcher, Holden Grobel. Pitch is line foul, and it hit the first base coach. He tried to get out of the way. It got him in the knee, I think. He seems to be okay. He's just checking his stopwatch. It's a pretty dangerous place to be sometimes for those base coaches, but you can see there he's got a big smile on his face. He's just fine. He may feel it, though. I say in the morning, it is the morning, but after he gets some sleep, he may wake up and be like, hey, it's a pretty good size knot. Pitch is off the plate here. 2-2 the count, 2 outs in the inning. Runner on at first base for the Foresters. They have scored 1 run so far. 1 run on 2 hits. They've had 5 runners on base. This ball is launched into right field. That thing is going to be hit into the gap. All the way to the wall it goes. That will score a run. A well-struck double into right center field by Caden Miller. Driving in Caleb Hoover. Another look at this ball laced into the gap. So Santa Barbara has put up now 2 runs here in the inning. Foresters back to the top of their lineup with Xavier Esker. Esker drew a full count walk his first time up, leading off the ball game. He was later thrown out trying to steal second base. One 1-0 pitch, misses low. It's now 2-0. No activity in the moment in the BTL bullpen. Two-0 delivery. That catches the outside corner for strike 1. So each of these teams playing their second ball game here in Wichita. Pool play continues through Tuesday, and starting Wednesday will be bracket play. 2-1 pitch is hit high in the air, shallow right field. In fact, it doesn't even make it to the outfield. The second baseman makes the catch at the edge of the dirt. And the inning comes to an end. Foresters get 2 in the inning. They take a 2-0 lead over the Hornets going to the home half of the inning.
It's the summer sales event with the Ford crew.
It's the summer sales event. Great time to buy. Nice weekend, Hank?
Spectacular. Took the family camping, courtesy of Ford F-Series, the best-selling trucks for 48 years. Morgan?
Baseball tournament. Mike Sport at the Homeland Field.
How about you two?
My bass.
Get 0% APR financing with 0 down and 0 payments for up to 90 days on select Ford vehicles. Plus, get a complimentary maintenance plan for 24 months.
Back in Wichita, Santa Barbara Foresters taking on the BTL Hornets here in baseball around the clock action. This game scheduled to be starting at midnight Central Time. Got started closer to 1 a.m., so just under an hour behind schedule. We'll see if things happen to either put the schedule further behind or if somehow they're able to make up time on this schedule if they get a game that goes quicker than anticipated. Games will be scheduled for 3 a.m., 6 a.m., and then there's a special game featuring the at 10 o'clock featuring the Miracle League of Wichita. And then games resume, real games, I guess you'd say, again at noon, 3 and 6. So they started baseball, I guess technically you would say yesterday because now it's Sunday. So the game started Saturday at noon, and there'll be nonstop action on the field here all the way through the late night hours of Sunday night. That's what makes baseball around the clock so beautiful. Baseball for more than 30 some hours. Pitch here is in for a strike. Back out there for a second inning of work is A.J. Crodell. He fired a scoreless first inning. This pitch nearly got away. Facing the leadoff batter, of course. No harm if that had happened. But the catcher back there, Chamberlain, it's in his nature to try to catch every ball. Here's a ground ball to the right side. And thrown out at first base is Schwint. So a 4-3 ground out here. Second man up is the 5-hole hitter. This is Josh Holmes. Holmes, another kid from right there in Johnson County, Lenexa, Kansas. Started his playing career at Butler Community College, which is just down the road in El Dorado. Holmes, one of back-to-back former Butler Grizzlies in the lineup here for the Hornets. Micah Kobashevsky, who's up next, also played for the Grizzlies. Holmes out ahead in the count 2-0. Holmes now playing at Pittsburg State University, a Division II school in the extreme southeastern corner of Kansas. If you're not from the area, you hear Pittsburg State, you think, oh, he must be from Pennsylvania. But no, there's a university, Pittsburgh University in Pennsylvania. There's a Pittsburg State in Pittsburg, Kansas. And interestingly enough, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania and Pittsburgh, Kansas are not spelled the same. Pitch is fouled off here by Holmes. And Pittsburgh in Pennsylvania has an H at the end that Pittsburgh in Kansas does not. 2-2 now. Holmes with an even count in here. He swings at a pitch on the outer half of the plate. Really nice pitch from A.J. Crodell. So now the batter will be Micah Kobashevsky, playing in left field today out of Topeka, Kansas. As we said, he started his collegiate career at Butler, now plays over at Missouri Western in St. Joseph, Missouri. A.J. Crodell, the pitcher for the Foresters, gets a ground ball here, left side. Third baseman comes in, fields, throws on a short hop. Nice job by the first baseman, Caden Miller, to dig it out of the turf there. And that is a very nice inning thrown by the pitcher, A.J. Crodell. He's thrown 2 scoreless innings so far, 2-0 Foresters going to the top of the third.
It's the summer sales event with the Ford crew.
It's the summer sales event. Great time to buy. Nice weekend, Hank?
Spectacular. Took the family camping, courtesy of Ford F-Series, the best-selling trucks for 48 years. Morgan?
Baseball tournament. Mike Sport with the whole infield.
How about you two?
Mud bath.
Get 0% APR financing with 0 down and 0 payments for up to 90 days on select Ford vehicles. Plus, get a complimentary maintenance plan for 24 months.
Back in Wichita, Kansas. 91st National Baseball Congress World Series. This is pool play. Second game of the tournament for each of these two teams. Leading off for the Foresters here in the top of the third inning. Cole Chamberlain 0 for 1 in the ball game with a ground out to shortstop. He gets hit in the foot to start this inning. First pitch came in and got him right in the shoe. So he will be headed down to first base. Another look at it here. Oh, got him right in the back foot. So first hit batter of the ball game for Johnson. Donovan Johnson, his first year at KCK. Pitched in 14 games. Went 5-1 his freshman year. Here he's facing Easton Mumau. Mumau 1 for 1 in the ball game so far. Hit a really solid ball into left center field for a double his first time up. Runner going and in there with a stolen base. That is Chamberlain. I always love to see the catchers get out and get running. Got a great jump on it. Such a good jump, in fact, that his counterpart, the catcher for the Hornets, Holden Grobel, decided not even to throw the ball, and he kind of gave the motorcycle handlebars motion there at the end. Here's a ball hit into right center field by Mumau. So now he is 2 for 2 in the ball game. Drives in the catcher Chamberlain, and the Foresters now lead it 3-0. They were scoreless in the first inning. They scored 2 in the second, and already have a run here in the third with nobody out. A hit batter, a stolen base, and then a single into right center field by Mumau. So a double to left center field and a single to right center field so far for the third baseman. Brenton Clark, 0 for 1 in the ball game. Had a ground out to the third baseman his first time up. Ground ball left side. This could be 2, 6, 4, 3, and the Hornets turn it. So Clark, 2 ground outs to the left side. This one resulting in a twin killing. Another look here, and the Hornets turn it just as you're supposed to. Nice job over there at second base by Martinez. So 2 outs now in the inning, and the batter will be Terrence Kill. Kill had a ground out to shortstop his first time up. Last night against the Derby Twins, he was 2 for 3 at the plate, scoring a pair of runs. He also walked and struck out, so he was on base 3 times in the ball game. Ahead in the count here quickly, 2-0. Pitch is fouled off down the right field line. Right fielder gives a little bit of chase, but that is well out of play. 2-1 the count with 2 outs in the inning. Already a run in for the Foresters. Swing and a miss. What a pitch there from Johnson. Maybe took a little something off of it there. Count goes full now, 3-2. Johnson has had at least 5 full counts through his 2 2/3 innings of work so far. Called strike 3 to end the inning. Kill thought it was ball 4. He tosses the bat aside, but the home plate umpire says, no, sir, that is strike 3. And another look at it as we go to the break. 3-0 Foresters going to the bottom of the third.
Have you ever needed to stop or change the way you do something you love because of aches, pains, or injury? The physical therapists at Select Physical Therapy are here to get you back to work, life, and your favorite activities. Most importantly, your goals are their goals. Their movement experts will listen and develop an individualized treatment plan so you can heal. Begin care faster by requesting an appointment today at selectphysicaltherapy.com. Experience the power of physical therapy at Select Physical Therapy.
The Taco Bell Cravings Value Menu. 10 choices, each just $3 or less. Starring the cheesy double beef burrito. Double the seasoned beef, all the cheesiness, and so much craveable flavor. Get it on the Cravings Value Menu, only at Taco Bell.
Back in Wichita, Kansas, baseball round the clock. We talked about the history of this Santa Barbara Foresters program, and it is just an amazing history. Since 2006, they have won 10 NBC World Series championships, 06, 08, then 11, 12, 14, 16, 18, and then back to back in 20, 21, and 22, but they have been held out of a national championship over the past 2 seasons as the Hutchinson Monarchs and the Hayes Larks, each having a win in the national championship game, and the national championship, the first in program history for each of those 2 Kansas schools. So will the Foresters get back on top here? Here's a ball right back to the pitcher, and Crodell fields. And he's able to turn and make the play to first base. So 1 pitch and 1 out here in the inning as Coffin hits it right back to Crodell. So 1 pitch, 1 out here. Crodell now facing Sitzer, and he gets a strike on the first pitch. We got somebody heckling somebody down there. Here's a ground ball to the right side. Third baseman fields and throws on to first. Nice play by Easton Mumau, who's having himself a heck of a ball game here so far. Eli Sitzer retired on the play. So the 9-hole hitter, Tanner Pachorik at the plate. Pachorik out of Aurora, Colorado, playing at KCKCC. That's what they call Kansas City, Kansas Community College. The Blue Devils. They have a really nice ballpark there in Kansas City, Kansas. Ground ball. That's going to be a tough play. Pitcher fields. Crodell, strong throw to first, so he makes the play twice in the inning. The first batter and the third batter grounding out to the pitcher on 2 very different balls back up the middle. But man, Crodell is cruising right now. You see him get off the mound quickly, make a nice play here. And he has thrown 3 scoreless. It is 3-0 Foresters going to the top of the 4th here in Wichita. Back in Wichita, top of the 4th inning. BTL Hornets out of suburban Kansas City taking on the vaunted Santa Barbara Foresters out of California. Foresters, we talked about their history winning national championships here in Wichita, but they've been even more dominant at the league level out in California, the California Collegiate League champions, and it's easier to tell you what years they've not been champions. Here's a ball that is crushed into right center field, and it is gone. Home run for Mick Paul leading off the inning. Paul making the slow jog around the bases. And that home run puts the Foresters in front here now, 4-0. Santa Barbara was held scoreless in the first inning, but they got 2 in the second, 1 in the third, and now they get 1 here to lead off the fourth inning, and that may do it for the BTL starting pitcher, Donovan Johnson. Another look at this swing here by Paul. Well, he just stayed inside of himself and absolutely muscled that one out of the ballpark here in Wichita. That is our 6th home run of the tournament. And remember, every tournament hit here in the tournament results in a $100 donation by Kansas Strong, the Kansas oil and natural gas producers. And those dollars will go to help Kansas teachers in their classrooms. So now up to 6 home runs in the 2025 NBC tournament, $600 so far headed to Kansas teachers, courtesy of Kansas Strong. So our thanks to Kansas Strong for those donations to Kansas teachers and to sponsoring this segment of the NBC tournament here on the NBC YouTube channel. So a home run by Mick Paul, his 2nd run scored of the ball game. He walked and scored earlier, so he has scored half of the Foresters' 4 runs so far. That'll bring Sawyer Farr to the plate. Farr is 1 for 1 in the game. He singled through the right side his first time up. Then he tried to go from first to third on a wild pitch and was thrown out at third base. So maybe being just a bit too aggressive on the base pass. That ball is fouled off here. Banging around on some poles here at the stadium. A young fan picks it up. A lot of youngsters here at the ballpark tonight. Why not? It is summertime. Where do these kids have to be in the morning? Nowhere but here. So let them stay up late and chase foul balls. Something I did when I was a kid. My dad would take me to Lawrence Dumont Stadium and drop me off, and I would just chase foul balls to my heart's content. So a lot of fondness in my heart for the NBC tournament. Glad to see it not only strong, but maybe enjoying a bit of a resurgence in the past couple of years here in Wichita. Pitch is a high strike at the letters to Sawyer Farr. 4 runs on 5 hits so far for the Foresters. No runs on no hits so far for the Hornets. They had just 1 hit in their first game, and that was a comebacker off of the pitcher late in the ball game. So they have struggled to come up with hits in this ball game. And we thought that we had seen the last of Donovan Johnson, the pitcher, but he stayed in the ball game. And here he gives up a walk to Sawyer Farr. So Farr has been on base both times so far in the ball game. It'll bring to the plate Caleb Hoover. Hoover walked in the second inning, and he scored on the RBI double by Caden Miller. Runner goes, and unable to cleanly grasp the baseball there was the catcher, Holden Grobel. So kind of bobbled the baseball in the transition between his catcher's glove and his throwing hand. And you see there, Caleb Hoover from Heath, Texas, playing at South Carolina, has walked and scored a run in this ball game. Runner goes again. This time the throw to third is not in time. So back-to-back stolen bases here by Sawyer Farr. We said he may have been a little bit too aggressive on the base pass his first time. But here he shows that he has a license to be aggressive, as he has stolen second and now stolen third. Ground ball fouled on the first baseline, and the first base coach who got hit by a baseball the first time, this time almost makes a pretty nice play, knocked the baseball down. So had a couple of balls come his way. That time he made the play. 2-1 pitch. Over the plate, but just a bit low, apparently. 3-1 now the count. Runner at third base is Sawyer Farr, who has walked and stolen 2 bags. Pitch is high here. That is ball 4. So Hoover draws a walk. That is the 5th walk of the game for Johnson. Add in a hit batter, and that is 6 free passes issued. And now the change will be made by the Hornets. So coming out to take the baseball away is Rusty Jones. Rusty Jones pitched collegiately at Butler Community College, which just happens to be the institution where I am employed, and I remembered him, and I thought, maybe he pitched there, and after you've been at a place for more than 20-some years, sometimes the years start to run together. And so I'm talking to Coach Jones yesterday, and I said, hey, I remember you from your time at Butler. When were you there, like 07, 08? He goes, no, I was there like 02 and 03. But very vividly remember him pitching for Butler, and then after Butler, he went on to Northwestern State, a Division I program in Louisiana. Pitched there very successfully, and then played 8 years of pro baseball. So Rusty Jones, a guy who certainly knows what the baseball lifestyle is all about, and he's coaching this BTL Hornets team, and now he makes the pitching change. And the new pitcher into the contest here is Grady Hoke. So a very rare member of this BTL team who is not from Johnson County, Kansas. He is from Yukon, Oklahoma, which, if I remember right, is just outside of Oklahoma City. Grady Hoke, 6'1", 180-pounder. And he plays his collegiate baseball at Cali. Cali, if you don't know, is a very traditional power in junior college baseball. They won back-to-back national championships, and the years escape me. I want to say it was 07 and 08, somewhere in that time frame. But the Tigers have been to the Division I Junior College World Series in Grand Junction, Colorado, time after time after time. There's a lot of good baseball players coming out of that program, and Grady Hoke is yet another of those many fine baseball players. So he'll get a chance here to face the preeminent summer baseball team in the country, the Santa Barbara Foresters. So Hook's first batter to face will be Caden Miller, who's already 1 for 1 in the game with an RBI double into right center field. First pitch thrown here by Hook is fouled off down the right field line. Foresters have 2 runners on, runners at the corner so far. Baseball around the clock has been going on for right at 14 hours now. 14 of at least 30, you would think. Here's a ground ball through the right side. That's going to get into right field. 1 run scores, and the runners are going to go first to third. And actually now, Miller takes advantage of the throw to third. He's going to go to second. So an RBI single for him, his second RBI of the ball game. Santa Barbara leads it now 5-0. And you can see Miller there gets it past the diving first baseman on into right field. And then good heads-up base running by him as the throw goes to third. He goes ahead and says, thanks for a free pass to second base. So that is how the Foresters greet the new pitcher Hoke with an RBI single. Back to the top of the Santa Barbara lineup for the 3rd time in the ballgame. This is Xavier Esker. Esker walked his first time up, was caught stealing at second. He's also popped out to second base, so officially 0 for 1 in the ball game. Takes the pitch well outside here. Esker has a chance to drive in some runs here. 2 ducks on the pond, as they say. Runners at second and at third. Check swing, he went around. That is strike 2 to Esker. Yesterday, Esker was 2 for 4 at the plate with 3 runs scored. He also drove in a run and walked. So he had a really nice day yesterday, and here he drives one into center field. He's going to get 1 run in. A second run will come in and score as well. So a 2 RBI single by Xavier Esker. As Caden Miller is helped up after sliding headfirst across the plate. And all of a sudden, it's now gotten to be a 7-0 ball game. The Foresters have opened up to score 4 runs here in the top of the 4th. And there's still nobody out in this inning. So Esker now leads the team in RBIs in this ball game with 2. He has driven in 3 runs in the tournament. This ball is laced by Chamberlain into right field. Esker will go first to third on the play. So the Hornets now trying to find an out in this inning, and it's becoming hard to do. Easton Mumau is 2 for 2 in the ball game. He has a double to left center field, an RBI single to right center field. He has a chance to drive in another run here with a hit. Actually, at this point, he doesn't even need a hit. A sacrifice fly or a ground ball to the right side could be enough to get that runner home from third. Ball is fouled off. Bounces around the luxury suites here at Tyler Field X Stadium at Gene Stevenson Park. A lot of fans out there on Coleman Hill out in the outfield. Part of baseball around the clock. If you weren't here when we explained it the first time, I think you pay something like $40 to join the baseball around the clock experience. And then you just watch as much baseball as you can over 30 plus hours. Look at that foul ball off the foot of Easton Mumau. So he hobbles around, but is ready now to step back into the batter's box. But in each game, at a time known only to the tournament organizers, there is a check-in. And when that check-in comes, you have 10 minutes to get to the check-in spot. And if you check in for every one of the games over the 30 plus hours of baseball around the clock, then you get to wear a t-shirt that says, "I survived baseball around the clock." 0-2 pitch to Mumau. He hits it on the ground, and the first baseman fields it. He will only have one play. That's at first base. They try to go back to first, but don't get the out there. But it is an RBI fielder's choice for Easton Mumau, his second RBI of the game. And it is now an 8-0 ball game. The Foresters have erupted for 5 runs here in the 4th. So now the cleanup hitter will be Brenton Clark. First pitch to Clark, misses for a ball. Clark is 0 for 2 in the ball game, a ground out to third base to end the first inning. Then he hit into a 6-4-3 double play. That was in the third inning. Here he hits one well into the gap into left center field. That is going to get down, bounce off the top of the fence. They're going to go ahead and send the runner all the way around from first. Mumau will be out of the plate. They gun him down, trying to score all the way from first. So nice job of the center fielder to get over there. Holmes with a lot of speed out there in center field. He was able to run that ball down in a strong throw back to the infield. Good job on the relay. And the Hornets make a nice play to keep another run from scoring. Here's another look at that throw to the plate. The catcher up the line a little bit. Still able to get back and make that tag. Here's another look. Yep, you can see the glove getting on the shoulder of Mumau just before his hand gets on the plate. And Mumau kind of knew that might have not been the best decision to have made there after he got tagged out. At least that's what I envisioned his body language to say right there. So nice job by the Hornets. Keep another run from scoring. That is the second out of the inning. So for Clark, it's going to be a double. He's out at second base, but not an RBI double. Terrence Kill will be at the plate. He is 0 for 2 in the game with a ground out and a strikeout. Pitch is high. The count to Kill. Terrence Kill 2 for 3 last night with 2 runs scored and a walk, as we said. Here he does draw a walk. Last time up, he threw the bat aside thinking he had ball 4, but he was actually out on strike 3 this time. Not in question as he draws a 4-pitch walk. So something worth mentioning here in the top of the 4th is that the run rule in this tournament is 10 after 5. So the Foresters, already leading 8-0, might be in position to end the ball game early. Pitch is high here. Looks like they want to throw behind Kill. He did not know that the first baseman hadn't moved, so he went ahead and hurried back to the base, but no throw came. Runners at first and second for the Foresters here with 2 outs in the inning. Mick Paul has had himself a nice ball game so far. He would be in the running, I think, for the Midwestern Ford Dealers Player of the Game. Walked and scored a run his first time and then hit a solo homer to left. That led off this inning as the Foresters have batted around now. Mick Paul also had a really nice sliding catch out in left field earlier in the contest. So for my money, and I don't get to make this decision, but for my money, it'd be hard-pressed to beat out Mick Paul for the Midwestern Ford Dealers Player of the Game so far. Swing and a miss. Boy, that fastball got up and in on him, and he swung and was kind of overmatched on that pitch. Lefty awaits the 2-2 pitch. That ball is flared over towards the shortstop, and running in and making the catch is Coffin for the 3rd out of the inning. But the Foresters put up a 5 spot here. They lead it 8-0 going to the bottom of the 4th in Wichita.
There's something happening in Wichita. Excitement, movement, a vibe. A city that offers amazing experiences delivered with heart. Come see the place we love. We think you'll love it too. Discover more at visitwichita.com.
Have you ever needed to stop or change the way you do something you love because of aches, pains, or injury? The physical therapists at Select Physical Therapy are here to get you back to work, life, and your favorite activities. Most importantly, your goals are their goals. Their movement experts will listen and develop an individualized treatment plan so you can heal. Begin care faster by requesting an appointment today at selectphysicaltherapy.com. Experience the power of physical therapy at Select Physical Therapy.
Back in Wichita, NBC World Series, a 91st edition of the National Baseball Congress World Series. And if you don't know the history of the tournament, there's a guy named Hap Dumont. He wanted to put on a summer baseball tournament in Wichita, so he offered $1,000 to a guy named Satchel Paige and said, bring your barnstorming team to Wichita to play in this tournament. The only thing was, Hap Dumont didn't have $1,000 at the time. He just knew that Satchel Paige would bring enough fans to the ballpark to be able to pay that guarantee out. And the rest, as they say, is history. Some of the greatest names in baseball history have come through the NBC tournament in Wichita. Think about names like Roger Clemens and Ozzie Smith, Mark McGuire. The names just go on and on of some of the great players. Barry Bonds played for the Hutchinson Broncos back in the day. Here's a ground ball to the right side, fielded and thrown, not in time. So beating it out for an infield single. That is Martinez. So good hustle for him. As Cade Martinez beats it out. Here's another look. And you can see his foot on the bag just before the throw gets there. Nice job over there by our first base umpire. That is Robert Dickinson making the right call there at first base. Here's a pitch high and getting away. That's going to be a wild pitch, I believe. Some might lobby for a pass ball because it hit the catcher's glove, but he had to come out of his stance. So if I'm the official scorer there, I'm calling that a wild pitch. See what Mike Dean, the legendary longtime scorekeeper here at the NBC tournament, let's see what he will call it. No indication so far. So a runner now at second base here for the Hornets, trying to get something going here in this ballgame. Here's a ball hit into right field, and the catch is made. The runner will tag Martinez. What a throw from right field, but the throw is offline. But my goodness, Britton Clark uncorked a throw that, had it been on line, would have had the runner by a step or two. And now they're going to say the runner left early. Or are they? They are. So Martinez will be heading back to the dugout. So I don't know if we have a way with our replay system to time that up as to when the catch was made, as to when he took off. I know if we've got Caden Warner still on the case there on the replay booth, he'll do his best. Oh, pitch fired in here. One-0 count to Micah Kovashevsky. So the flyout on the previous play by Josh Holmes. A correction, this is Quinn Grobel at the plate, not Kovashevsky. So the previous flyout was Holden Grobel. Pitch is in for a strike. Three and one the count to Quinn Grobel, and he drives this one into center field, and is a catch made out there? Oh my! What a play made in center field there by Terrence Kill. Just kind of dove for it, says, hey, look what I came up with, a big smile on his face. Everything is going Santa Barbara's way right now. Look at this play. As he made it, sliding on his knees, ends up on his back. Foresters lead it 8-0.
The Taco Bell Cravings Value Menu. 10 choices, each just $3 or less. Starring the cheesy double beef burrito. Double the seasoned beef, all the cheesiness, and so much craveable flavor. Get it on the Cravings Value Menu, only at Taco Bell.
back in Wichita, Kansas. 91st NBC tournament. You know a tournament's good if it lasts 91 years. I mean, that's got some staying power right there. This past year, the NBC tournament added a couple of players to their Hall of Fame class, including Ozzie Smith. I was kind of surprised at how many of the youngsters did not know who Ozzie Smith was, but for my money, the greatest defensive shortstop in the history of Major League Baseball. He played for the Clarinda, Iowa A's in the 1970s and played professional baseball for the San Diego Padres and the St. Louis Cardinals. I think that's where he was probably most famous, was with the St. Louis Cardinals. Also that night, got to meet Ozzie Smith and got to chat with Alex Gordon as well, former Beatrice Bruin out of Beatrice, Nebraska. He spent his professional career playing for the Kansas City Royals, won a World Series in 2015 with the Royals. Here's a ball lifted into center field by Sawyer Farr, and that'll be a single. His third time on base in the ballgame. He has 2 singles now. He's also walked, scored 1 run, and he leads off the top of the 5th with a single here. So as we started to talk about the run rule potentially coming into effect, the run rule is 10 runs after 5. So if the Foresters were to score a couple of runs here and then hold the Hornets in the home half of the inning, this game could potentially end earlier than scheduled. Pitch missing outside here. One on, nobody out. Batter is Caleb Hoover at the plate. He has walked twice in the game, scored both times. Throw to first. And they're going to give the runner a second base. It must be a balk. So the balk there by Grady Hoke allows the runner to go to second base. Another look here. Yeah, you can see the home plate umpire called it immediately. So we're talking about the 2025 Hall of Fame inductee class for the NBC World Series. Alex Gordon, as we talked about, was one of those gentlemen inducted into the NBC Hall of Fame. Also, Phil Stevenson, one of the greatest hitters in collegiate baseball history here at Wichita State. He was inducted after a long playing and coaching career. There's a swing and a miss by Caleb Hoover, so he goes out on strikes. Hoke with his first strikeout of the ball game. Here's another look. So Caden Miller now will be at the plate. He is 2 for 2 in the ball game. Miller takes a pitch for a strike. Caden Miller has driven in a run each time he's been up there. A RBI double into right center field in the second inning. Then an RBI single through the right side in the 4th. This ball is lined over the head of the second baseman into right field. That's going to get a run home. So how about this for Caden Miller tonight? 3 for 3 at the plate and has driven in a run in each of his 3 plate appearances. A double and 2 singles, 3 RBI. And we talked about Mick Paul being a strong candidate for player of the game. I guess you got to give a little consideration to Caden Miller as well. So Xavier Esker will be at the plate. 1 for 2 so far with a walk And a 2-run single his last time up into right center field. Foresters leading at 9-0. Running on the play, the throw gets away into center field. The runner, Miller, will not try to go to third. He will hold on there at second base. So, because of that, there is no throwing error on the play. There would have only been an error assessed had the runner gone to third. So Xavier Esker from UCSB. So he's a guy that gets to hang out in Santa Barbara all year long. Goes to school there and also plays summer baseball there. Not a bad life. I can think of worse places to hang out than Santa Barbara, California. Two-0 pitch coming here. That pitch is high. We were talking about the Hall of Fame inductees, Alex Gordon and Phil Stevenson, also David Benson, added to the NBC Hall of Fame this past year. Pitch is high for ball 4, so Xavier Esker draws his second walk of the contest. Conversation on the mound. Rusty Jones is going to take the baseball from Grady Hoke, so his evening, we call it evening? His evening is done here at 2:21 a.m. New pitcher into the ball game here for BTL. This will be Bryant Siemens out of Maryville, Kansas. He plays at Kansas City, Kansas Community College. You know what they call Maryville, Kansas? The black squirrel capital of the world. How's that for your local Kansas knowledge? You're getting some knowledge here tonight, folks, for free. That's probably what it's worth. So Bryant Siemens, long and lanky left-hander, 6'4", 180 pounds. He is the second pitcher of the night from KCK-CC. Siemens continuing to, I said Maryville, I meant Marysville, Kansas. You know where Marysville, Kansas is? It's right on US 77 in between Junction City and Beatrice. So, Bryant Siemens finishes his warm-up tosses. 2 on here for the Foresters, and here's what's on the line here for the Hornets. If they give up another run and don't score a run in the bottom of the 5th, this ball game will be over. So that's why they make the move they do to go to the bullpen. Trying to get out of this inning. A ground ball double play would do just that. Pitch is high, runners go, and it's a double steal pulled off by the Foresters. So Miller and Esker both take off and end up safely at another base. So that takes the double play out of the picture for the most part. So Chamberlain at the plate has grounded out to shortstop. He's been hit by a pitch, and he is singled into right field. Pitch is a strike here. Nice pitch there by Siemens. Chamberlain, a Texas Longhorn. Interesting that the Foresters have a few guys from Texas and a few guys from Texas A&M. Wonder how they get along during the summer. I'm sure just fine. Pop up behind the plate. Will it be playable? No. It lands behind the third row of seating in the lower bowl here at X Stadium. Didn't even see where that ball, it ended up in the hands of a fan down there. She's got a souvenir. How about that? She's telling her friends how she made the play to get that baseball. So a 1-2 count to Chamberlain. That ball is fouled back, and I can make this. Oh, no, it was over my head. Sure looked like it was coming into the press box here. And I think it hit off the upper part of the press box and bounced back into the bleachers. So the young lady who had the foul ball moments ago, her next door neighbor right there, gets a baseball as well. So it's a pretty good night to come to the ballpark and pick up a souvenir, I guess. That pitch just off the plate. Siemens, the lefty, trying to get his team back in the dugout. This is what I love about the NBC tournament, though. You have a young man getting ready to enter a Kansas Community College, pitching against a young man who plays in the SEC. That's what makes the NBC tournament great. You just never know who you're going to play against and what level of ball they play at, how you match up. Full count pitch coming here with runners at second and third. And Siemens wins that battle. A swinging strikeout there by Chamberlain. And that's a big, big strikeout there for the Hornets. Trying to keep this ball game going. A ball that was put in play there would have likely gotten a runner home, but instead Siemens comes up with a big strikeout. So now the three-hole hitter is Easton Mumau. Hits a ball hard off of the first baseman. He cannot make the play. One run scores, and the second runner will be out at the plate. So the inning comes to an end, but the Foresters get the 10th run. And now it comes down to whether the Hornets can score in the bottom of the 5th or not. If they score, the game continues. If they don't, it will come to an end. 10-0 Foresters going to the bottom of the 5th.
At Evergy, we're focused not just on what we power, but on who we power, right here in our community. We provide payment assistance to our neighbors who need it. Invest in organizations and people, creating opportunity for all to benefit. And volunteer our time around our hometown so that together we improve it. Because we're committed to spreading good energy throughout our community. Evergy, the utility company.
BMA's residential cleaning service knows there's no place like home, especially when your home is cleaned by our experienced staff. From floor to ceiling, we've got you covered. Learn more at bmasclean.com. BMA's Cleaning Sports, PBS Kansas. Seriously good TV.
So we talk about the history of the NBC tournament, and every year the NBC selects a graduate of the year, and that is a player who played in the NBC tournament at some point along the way. And usually the graduate of the year is a Major League Baseball player, and this year the the graduate of the year is Josh Young, and he played for, guess who? The Santa Barbara Foresters here in the national tournament. In 2017, he hit .385 in 4 games, going 5 for 14 with a triple, 5 runs scored, and 7 runs driven in. He played collegiately at Texas Tech University. He was the Big 12 Player of the Year in 2019, and he was drafted 8th overall by the Texas Rangers. There's a ground ball here for the Hornets. The batter is Schmidt. Or Schwint, excuse me, Cooper Schwint out of Shawnee, plays at Emporia State University. Schwint had a ground out his first time up. Here he lifts one in the air, foul territory behind third base. Third baseman over and makes the catch for the first out of the inning. Some of the other past graduates of the year: Jed Lowry, Aaron Judge, who played for the Anchorage Glacier Pilots, Ian Kinsler, Hunter Pence, Paul Goldschmidt, Alex Gordon, as we mentioned. Going back even further, Mark Teixeira, Tim Lincecum. I mean, the names just go on. Albert Pujols, Lance Berkman. I mean, so many great baseball players have come through the NBC tournament over the great history of this tournament. Of course, we talked about Barry Bonds, Mark McGuire, Roger Clemens, Tony Gwynn, played for the Boulder Collegians in 1980. Just a fantastic history of the NBC tournament. 1-1 the count now to Josh Holmes. Holmes struck out swinging his first time up. Ground ball down the line, deep in the hole. Holmes has great speed, and he will beat it out for an infield single. So for the second game, the Hornets get a hit late to break up a no-no. And you knew with Holmes' fantastic speed on a ball hit deep in the hole there that he was going to have a really good chance. And you see there, he beat it by a half step at first base. So now it will be Micah Kobashevsky at the plate. Pitch is high for a ball. When I'm not broadcasting NBC baseball, I get to be the voice of the Butler Grizzlies. As we said, that's a 2-year college program just down the road in El Dorado. Micah Kobashevsky played at Butler, and he lines one here. It's caught by the third baseman. He'll be out there. But kind of cool to see these guys play in the NBC tournament after having broadcasted all of their games for a 2-year span. Well, he really hit this one well, but third baseman right there, Easton Mumau, makes the catch for the second out. So now it all comes down to this for the Hornets. This will be Coffin at the plate. He'll have to come up with a base hit here to keep this ball game going. Tyler Coffin out of Kansas City, Missouri. Plays at Emporia State, which is a D2 program here in Kansas. Emporia about an hour and, maybe 15, 20 minutes up the road from here. Straight up the Kansas Turnpike. Coffin had a comebacker to the pitcher. His first time up, 0 for 1. 2-0 pitch to him. Pitch is fouled straight back. A.J. Crodell has pitched to Jim here. Has allowed just one hit, and that was an infield single moments ago by Josh Holmes. So Crodell looking to finish it off here, and there's another hit. This is laced into right center field. Will Holmes go to third? Yes, he will easily. So runners at the corners now for the Hornets. So Coffin singles into right center field. So the Hornets, after getting that first hit by Holmes, Kobuszewski hit the ball pretty well just on the line at the third baseman, and now Coffin with a solid single into right center field, puts 2 runners on. And now Eli Sitzer coming to the plate. And there will be a conversation on the mound here. No coaches, just players. And they all look to be in pretty good spirits. They say, hey, AJ, go ahead and finish this thing off right here. So Sitzer with a chance to get the Hornets on the board here if he can come up with a 2-out base hit. Fouls off a pitch, the first pitch he sees. 10-0 Foresters. The question now is whether this game will go to a 6th inning or not. 0-1 pitch. Misses low, ball 1. Pitch misses low and away now. Nice job of snagging it there by Chamberlain, the catcher. Eli Sitzer plays at Washington University. Check swing, did he go? Yes, he did. Now, when I say Eli Sitzer plays at Washington University, that's the private school in St. Louis, not the University of Washington in Seattle. Very prestigious academic school over there in St. Louis. Three-two payoff pitch. Runner goes. Called strike 3, and that is your ball game. I think some of the fans here thought that could have been very easily ball 4 to load the bases, but instead it is strike 3. Take one more look at it here. And that might have been a bit low and just a bit outside, but strike 3 ends the ball game, and the Santa Barbara Foresters roll to their 2nd straight run rule victory here in pool play. They beat the Derby Twins last night by a score of 11-1. They beat the BTL Hornets tonight by a final score of 10-0. So the Foresters, who've won 10 of these NBC World Series championships, they look every bit the part of a team who could win an 11th here this year, as they have steamrolled their first 2 opponents in the tournament. For the BTL Hornets, that loss probably means that they will not be making it out of pool play, but they still will have one more pool play game left before they go home, and they could be one of those teams that gets in with a 1-2 record. So certainly probably not completely eliminated yet, but it will be tough with being 0-2 and having the run differential that they have. We will be having our Midwest Ford Dealers Player of the Game. We'll also have our Pierpoint, Lawn and Landscape Play of the Game. Well, our player of the game, we understand, will be the starting pitcher, A.J. Crodell. I would have given strong consideration to Mick Paul, who had a home run and scored a couple of runs in the ballgame. Also had a nice sliding catch in left field. But it's tough to argue with a guy who throws a complete game shutout, and that is A.J. Crodell. According to the official stats keeper, a shutout on just 2 hits allowed. So the young man who plays at UCSB also becomes the Midwestern Ford Dealers Player of the Game for throwing the complete game shutout. So A.J. Crodell, your Midwest Ford Dealers Player of the Game. And now we'll take a look at the play of the game, the Pierpoint Lawn and Landscape play of the game, and here it is. It is the home run by Mick Paul. So maybe he didn't win player of the game, but he gets play of the game. So they're spreading the love as they go out here. So A.J. Crodell is the player of the game, but Mick Paul gets the play of the game, the 6th home run of the NBC tournament, and the first of the tournament for Mick Paul. Well, we will leave you with a highlight package from tonight's ball game here. The highlight package brought to you by Visit Wichita, reminding you to come and check out all the cool things there are to do in our fine city. The Santa Barbara Foresters roll to a 10-0 victory over the BTL Hornets. A.J. Crodell goes the distance and gets the victory. And the Foresters are now 2-0 in the tournament. And the BTL Hornets fall to 0-2. This is Matt Jacobs on the behalf of our entire production crew in the truck who are fighting sleep. It's late in the morning here, 2:41 a.m. as we wrap this broadcast up. But on behalf of all the people in the truck and on camera working hard to bring you this broadcast, we thank you for tuning in. We hope you've enjoyed it as much as we've enjoyed bringing it to you.